Minecraft is a game that requires no explanation. Your younger brother loves it, you know it, maybe even your dad does. Heck, Minecraft is currently the best-selling game of all time, surpassing Tetris. But it doesn't mean that Minecraft and the developer, Mojang, have never come under any scrutiny of some sort. Every year, Minecraft players can take part in an event called the Mob Vote, in which they elect one out of 3 mobs to be added to the game. The first started in 2017, with the Fandom mob being added, and we had 4 other events since then. The idea of giving players more freedom as to what mobs are added to the game, or the ones that are not, surely sounds like a great idea. However, recently Minecraft players were not so fond of the way Mojang is coordinating it. So in the recent 2023 mob vote between the penguin, armadillo, and crab mobs, players rallied up and started a big campaign to end the voting altogether and had the 3 mobs added to the game instead of only 1. There have been lots of parody revolution posters, multiple posts across social media, and even a change.org petition has received over 500,000 signatures towards this goal. When Mojang did the live stream to show which mob was the winner, fans stormed the comments and spammed hashtag #StopTheMobVote to an extent that while watching the live stream, I sincerely couldn't really see anyone say anything else. Spoiler alert, the armadillo won with 42.3% of the votes, leaving crab and penguin enthusiasts very disappointed. This whole situation brought up complaints not only about how scummy the mob vote truly is, but also Mojang's handling of the game. A lack of meaningful updates recently and elements not being added to their full potential have really made fans unhappy with their current performance. And I want to use this opportunity to give my insights on the company's situation and give my opinion on the long-lasting debate. Are Mojang really lazy, or are they just trying to not break the game? I started playing Minecraft in what I called the golden ages of Minecraft, in the beginning of 2012.
Okay,
I'll not dwell that much on why I believe there was a golden age, but rather explain that the game was simple, interesting, and very appealing to most demographics, especially children of course, but there was certainly room for not only improvements such as bug fixes, but also for new features of course. The game was basically a well-drawn painting on a canvas, but one that could be filled with more elements to make composition even more beautiful than it already was. So in that same year, Mojang blasted everyone with multiple bug fixes and loads of new features such as ocelots, cats, armed golems, turning villagers and emeralds, witches, beacons, and so much more. Releasing the big 1.2, 1.3, and 1.4 updates all in that same year. There was definitely more depth being added to Minecraft, and with every update the game felt even more alive, and I would get so excited every time I saw they were gonna make a new update. It was amazing. You could tell that Jab, Notch, and Dinnerbone were truly spearheading an amazing project and that they were giving their everything to make Minecraft the best game they could. Now, you may be saying, okay grandpa, we got it, you're old, but why are you telling us this? Well, the reason I'm saying this is because what I miss the most about current Minecraft is the feeling I described having when I was a kid. I feel super excited to see what would be added to my favorite game at the time, and having my expectations always blown away, even though I was just a kid. But right now, I just think, okay, what kind of new retextured block or useless mob are we getting this year? And I believe that many can relate to this feeling and also shows what may be going wrong with current Mojang. First of all, the whole concept of Microsoft and Mojang teasing players with 3 mostly lackluster ideas and making them choose only one sounds insane to me, like completely insane. A game that has generated billions of dollars over the years, that is owned by a billionaire company obviously, making players beg for only one mid-idea of a mob per year is not acceptable. I'm mostly upset about the mob vote, but also about the overall output that Mojang has had over the last years, in particular this one. Seriously, this year's Minecraft live event can summarize in like a minute, let's be honest. And it's not an exaggeration. The Minecraft 2023 highlights video has 1 minute and 17 seconds, while features added to the actual current Minecraft are basically 20 to 18 seconds of it. It's insane. Don't get me wrong, I don't expect Mojang to be releasing the same amount of content as in 2012. The game is totally different, and back in the day, the game was new at the time and there was so much to do. And now Minecraft is way more polished, more well established. It is used also for education, for example. So they cannot keep adding infinite mobs or ideas every 2 weeks, not only due to not all ideas being possible to be added to the game, but also due to the fact that the game would get severely overcrowded if they continue the same level of output as before. Not only that, if every 3 months Mojang decided to keep adding new biomes, game-changing mechanics and mobs, do you really think that 80-year-old Timmy will like the game? Of course not. Timmy will just get absolutely demolished by the new fire golem or whatever that they added, and it's something that he never heard about, and we just go crying to his parents and refund the game. However, I do believe that those 2 or 3 perspectives can coexist, and that's how Mojang should lead the development of the game, striking a balance between adding exciting new ideas, but also not overdoing it and confusing the player base. However, the point is that the audience is far from confused from those new changes. More exactly, they are confused as to why those changes weren't so important and meaningful as they would obviously expect. Discussing those changes, I want to talk not only about the ridiculousness of the mob vote, which I'll do later, but also about the updates in general, starting from 2017 onwards. To understand why the last Minecraft Live was so underwhelming, I believe that having the knowledge of how Mojang's productivity has declined is essential, but if you already have the context or you just want to hear about the new update and what I think about it, And the mob vote, of course, the timestamp is on the screen. But where were we? Oh yeah, 2017. At that year, Minecraft was somewhat losing its popularity due to the audience maturing and also due to the lack of important updates. I mean, who remembers 1.12? I seriously don't. And they were probably brainstorming ideas on how to make the game relevant again. There was obviously like a lot of help from YouTubers such as Call Me Carson and PewDiePie, and the aquatic update that happened like I think 2018 was very nice, but just didn't really hit the spot and it was somewhat underwhelming. But all that changed 2019 with the Village and Pillage update. It was refreshing and very needed change to the game, bringing some nice decorative blocks and some nice interesting mobs such as pillagers, of course, while adding like new elements that made the game a little more fresh. Minecraft got a big boost once again with the Nether update, with many people believing that it was one of the best updates Mojang had ever done, even in comparison with the old days. They added more depth to what was once a relatively empty dimension and made it much more interesting, while also enhancing the gameplay considerably. The Nether update was an amazing display of Mojang taking more risks, showing like more proactivity, being much more innovative, and really working how we would expect them to do. The hype train was up and running once again, especially with Mojang announcing the Caves and Cliffs update, saying they would revolutionize the whole way that we see mountains and caves in Minecraft, which was something that the fanbase absolutely wanted. People were going feral for it, imagining what would be added, and with Mojang promising so much, as they always do, everyone was obviously super excited. Once again, it felt like the good old days of Minecraft, only for Mojang to go and announce that it wouldn't be able to deliver everything in one update, unfortunately. Needless to say, everyone was disappointed, everyone was sad, especially 1.17 coming on with basically nothing worthwhile mentioning. Am I right, Dream? I mean, I hope he's happy using 11-year-olds to vote for a completely useless mob, such as a glow squid that doesn't even glow properly, instead of a Giga Chad ice sorcerer. Well, anyways. Later on, we have Caves and Cliffs 2, and oh my god, do people love it as well. The mountains were fantastic, and the caves were pretty dope as well. I need to mention, however, that the mountains only came because it was featured in a biome vote, but the biome vote's a little more different because people vote for the biomes, and when one biome gets elected to be restructured. However, the other biomes that don't get voted on, they are added to the game later on because they need to like redo the biome, so it's a little better, but still, I'll touch on the mob vote later. Come back to the point. The update was pretty great, but we could tell that things were starting to go a little wrong with Mojang's planning, since they had to split the update in two. They couldn't deliver it in time. And then 1.19 came and nothing impressive was added this time. Alright, they added frogs and used the paint bucket tool to paint them on 3 different colors. They updated swamps, which was great. Added the deep dark and warden, but that's about it. Oh, and did I mention that they removed fireflies? They were supposed to be only 2 pixels on the screen, and they didn't revamp the whole birch biome like they promised to due to lack of resources? Yeah, they did that. So much expectation after such a banger there was Caves and Cliffs 1 and 2, and they delivered basically nothing. So they just leave everyone disappointed. Remember that at this point, Minecraft was already the best-selling game of all time for like 1 or 2 years, or at least 1.5 years. And they were this disorganized. They couldn't deliver, they had to like reschedule everything. And talking about 1.20, they added like pots. Yeah, pots. A little bit of archaeology as well in the camels, which were nice, but another update was mostly irrelevant, I would say. Not that many things going on. Now, with this context out of the way, things start to get heated. Mojang released 2 very disappointing updates in a row, 1.19, 1.20, and announced a mob vote. As I explained, 3 mobs are shown, one gets chosen and the rest is shelved forever. This of course got everyone upset. How can a company worth billions and billions have a system which they add 1 single mob per year? Like realistically, what does it cost them to add those 2 other mobs they already developed? Other gaming companies pump out updates, patches, fixes so quickly. Why can't Mojang do the same? People have been starved out of content for 2 full years and just want something exciting, and they're simply refusing to make 3 mobs that a team of 2 Germans, 1 Finn, and 3 Swedes could do in a weekend if you paid them 2 large pizzas and half a bottle of Coke. It's also not like it didn't do any progress with the mobs, like Mojang actually planned how the mobs would function and found a way to make them viable, so why in hell are they not simply adding them? I mean, right after mobs are announced, in 3 days tops, they're added all to the game by modders. It's simply unbelievable that Mojang shelves so many good ideas just because. If they want to just add 1 mob to their billion-dollar game, might as well make their staff choose and it's done. They'll probably choose whatever scooter or something that like will really enhance like the performance of the game, but I don't care. Anything is better than showing 3 mobs, teasing your audience, and then not delivering 2 of those mobs. And now in 2023, Mojang announced 1.21. Of course, it didn't say everything that will be added. They always leave some stuff for later. But it was once again another considerably underwhelming livestream. It will come on June 2024, so 7 months from now, and Mojang will add a bunch of decorative blocks, a new structure called the Tri-Chambers in which players could find some enemies generated by some kind of mob spawner and get some rewards, which is very nice. They could find a new mob called Breeze attacks with wind, and the Armadillo. 7 months to add this when your game generates an immense amount of revenue every second. One thing I must highlight is that this lack of progress obviously isn't due to lack of funds, but also not due to a lack of workforce. Mojang has 600 employees, and although that isn't the same as Ubisoft that has 2,000 people separately working on a single game, we had 100 people working on Skyrim. Terraria reportedly has 25 people and update the game to a very reasonable frequency. What kind of excuse does Mojang have to keep using the paint bucket tool on 3 blocks and stop working for a year? You might say, oh, but they have to work on Bedrock and Java. Then why don't they hire more employees to complete this task? For those of you that don't know, Minecraft has 2 engines, Bedrock and Java. To keep it really simple, players on the PC play on Java, while other platforms use Bedrock. Mojang always updates Java quicker than Bedrock, since those engines are very different and not everything that works on Java will work on Bedrock. So they need to get those assets developed in Java and then somewhat translate them to Bedrock and make them work, what might be tiring. And since 2017, Bedrock and Java updates seem to be launched at the same time. Java is definitely slowed down by Bedrock. There's also some features that don't exist in the mobile version, such as wheel handling. But come back to the point, what's stopping them from getting some developers from Asia, for example, and making it work on Bedrock, since those guys really know how to code? And remember that it was their choice to make it so that Java needs to be held back by Bedrock. I understand that it provides more interaction between players from Nintendo Switch, from Xbox, and players on the PC. However, it was still their choice. I mean, a considerable amount of people play on the Bedrock version, as I said, so that's another reason why I believe that Minecraft should really get some cracked guys from other parts of Microsoft or other parts of the world to work on solving this issue. People have expressed for the last 2 years about how underwhelming Minecraft updates are, and if the issue is that they're limited by Bedrock, I don't think that using this as an excuse will be accepted forever. They need to simply get the people in those projects, pay them what they're worth, and get the job done. If it was an indie dev team, I would maybe understand, but it's Microsoft we're talking about of all companies. There's an untapped resource of people they could hire, such as modders, indie developers, established developers, and so much more. They had the funds to get them, the project is solid, and who doesn't want to work for Microsoft? With that being said, I'd like to conclude saying that, although Mojang has had a brilliant development history with Minecraft, the recent updates have been truly lackluster compared to what is expected, and that new features haven't been as fans desired. But answer the question whether Mojang is lazy or not, as much as I'd like to throw them under the bus, I think I gave them enough backlash in this video, and need to admit that they are not being lazy. They are simply not that well organized, and taking a different approach on how they want to structure the game, and are also of course having issues with Bedrock. But what do you guys think? Are they being too lazy, or do you think that we just need to give them more time? Comment down below, and also mention what mom you voted for. That's about it. See ya!